the day chivalry died. In the year 1396, on the green banks of the Danube River, Europe gathered its finest knights for what they believed would be a glorious crusade. They carried banners blessed by priests, wore armor forged by master craftsmen, and rode horses trained for war. They believed that victory was theirs by right. But rising from the east was a new empire, disciplined, ruthless, and led by Bayezid the Thunderbolt, whose armies would crush the pride of Europe on a single battlefield. This is the Battle of Nicopolis, the day when courage without strategy met a storm it could not survive. The world before the battle. Europe in the late 14th century was fractured. France and England were locked in the 100 Years' War. Germany was fragmented. Italy was a patchwork of city-states. The papacy was divided in the Western Schism. Yet in the Balkans, the Ottoman Empire expanded relentlessly. Bulgaria, Serbia, Thrace, and Macedonia had fallen. Sultan Bayezid I ruled with speed, ruthlessness, and brilliant strategy. His janissaries, Sipahi cavalry, and light infantry made the Ottomans a modern, flexible army Europe was unprepared for. Europe realized the danger. King Sigismund of Hungary sent urgent pleas across the continent. If we do not stop the Turks now, soon they will be at Vienna's gates. France answered, sending its elite knights. Marshal Boucicaut, Jean de Nevers, Jean de Vienne. Hundreds of French nobles. Thousands of infantry and archers. And so the crusade gathered, proud, brave, but dangerously divided. The Crusade Army, ASSMBLS. By summer 1396, the Crusader army was a massive force. Western Europe, French knights, Burgundians, Germans, Austrians, Swiss infantry. Eastern Europe, Hungarians, Transylvanians, Wallachians, Knights Hospitaller. But the army had one fatal flaw: too many leaders, too much pride, and no real unity. Sigismund attempted coordination, but French nobles refused to follow orders, certain that honor demanded they lead the charge. The target was Nicopolis, a fortress on the Danube. The Crusaders expected a long siege, but Bayezid had moved faster than anyone anticipated. Within days, his entire army arrived, ready for battle. Dawn of battle, the French charge. On September 25, 1396, the French knights charged at dawn. Armor gleaming, lances lowered, banners waving. Horses thundered, drumming across the grassy fields. Priests blessed the warriors, trumpets sounded. The French believed courage could break any army. But Bayezid had set traps. Hidden trenches, sharpened stakes, camouflaged pits. Light infantry and archers ready to strike. Reserve cavalry positioned for flanking. As the knights reached the Ottoman lines, arrows rained down. Horses fell into hidden trenches, lances shattered, armor dented. The once mighty charge slowed to a slog, and Bayezid's strategy unfolded perfectly. The Ottoman counterattack. The French broke through light infantry, only to meet the janissaries, elite soldiers disciplined and fearless. Crossbows and early firearms struck at close range. Then, Ottoman cavalry flanked the knights, while Serbian heavy cavalry smashed their ranks from behind. What began as a glorious charge turned into chaos. Knights fought desperately, but were surrounded. Retreat became impossible. The battlefield filled with screams, blood, and broken horses. Europe's finest warriors were being systematically destroyed. The collapse of the Crusaders. Panic spread across the rest of the army. Hungarian and Wallachian units tried to regroup, but were attacked from multiple sides. German and Austrian contingents hesitated, unsure of action. French nobles were killed or captured, their pride shattered. King Sigismund organized a retreat, covered by Mercia of Wallachia, but thousands of crusaders were cut down. Bayezid allowed ransoms for some nobles, but many were executed or held to secure influence and wealth. Aftermath on the Danube. The battlefield was a scene of horror. Tens of thousands of dead and wounded. Horses, armor, and banners strewn across the field. Survivors traumatized, fleeing in shock. Villages and roads nearby turned into killing grounds. Nicopolis crushed the last major crusade in the Balkans for decades. Europe's shock and rectons. The news of defeat brought widespread panic. France mourned its nobles, creating political vacuums. Burgundy and neighboring regions reevaluated priorities. Hungary faced a weakened army and lost prestige. Across Europe, rulers realized chivalry alone could not defeat the Ottomans. Nicopolis became a lesson in humility and a symbol of the changing nature of warfare. Bayezid's victory and strategy. Bayezid's brilliance lay in discipline and timing. Ottoman forces were fast, organized, and flexible. He used hidden trenches, archers, infantry, and cavalry in perfect coordination. Captured nobles were used for wealth, influence, or negotiation. Nicopolis secured Ottoman dominance in the Balkans and instilled fear across Europe. Strategic lessons. 1. Unity is critical. Fragmented leadership leads to disaster. 2. Pride without strategy is fatal. French knights' arrogance destroyed them. 3. Adaptability beats raw power. The Ottomans combined arms, discipline, and terrain advantage. 4. Europe needed reform. Nicopolis forced military modernization in response to Ottoman tactics. Human cost. 10,000,15. 000 European soldiers killed. Thousands captured. Families of nobles devastated. Morale shattered for decades. Nicopolis became a graveyard of ambition, teaching the cost of overconfidence and poor planning. Legacy of Nicopolis. The battle reshaped European military thought. Chivalry alone no longer guaranteed survival. Professional armies and strategic planning became essential. Bayezid's reputation as the Thunderbolt spread across Europe. Balkans fell further under Ottoman influence. Nicopolis was more than a battle. It was a turning point in European history. Closing narration. Voice cinematic, slow, reflective. The Battle of Nicopolis was the day pride collided with strategy, courage faced precision, and Europe learned the bitter cost of arrogance. Bayezid the Thunderbolt did not just defeat an army. He reshaped a continent, demonstrated the power of preparation, and changed the rules of war forever. The Danube still remembers the thunder of hooves, the clash of steel, and the screams of the fallen. Nicopolis remains a lesson. In war, strategy, discipline, and unity conquer even the bravest hearts.